different lineup as well. But my point stands here that it's one that Anonymo are capable of playing, but that's very similar to what we said going into Mirage. We knew it was going to be a good one for Mad Lions as well. And the same has to be said here. I think they are primed for that 2-0. And, well, we're getting right into the action once again, Mike.
I will also say some of the issues that we saw for Anonymo in terms of reacting a little bit too quickly, perhaps sometimes to rotations, leaving some site vacants, those can really punish you on Ancient, right? The rotations are quick, but if you leave a site open, there's a lot of inroads. And speaking of leaving a site open, this is a very heavy stack for Anonymo in the first round. They're just going to maintain some presence in towards Cave with Demo. Otherwise, well, TMB has just walked out onto B. And Demo's even going to push? Okay, so he's not just going to hang on to this. This does get a kill and is able to withdraw, so that's huge. Success there was critical for the setup for Anonymo, but success is found. Highlight dueling off in towards mid. Got to be a bit careful here, especially since he has the kit. Don't want to drop that too far forward. That's awkward to recover. Individual play out, just a creep on towards A is brought low. Mad Lions looking a little bit disjointed in this round. Now they'll start to edge in towards what might eventually be a B play. This is very timid from them.
Yeah, just slowly creeping towards B now. There is only one player currently, but you can see Qualifiers on his way back over as well. And considering they already have the 5-on-3, really staying alive, maybe snatching one kill is the best that they'll be looking for here. Don't need to challenge the actual bomb site too heavily in itself. May just even concede the bomb plant, but here we go. Demo's going to take some fights. He was looking incredibly crisp on that last map, of course, hitting one-taps galore with the Dig and the AK, clutching out when needed. And while all he's got to do now is work alongside his teammates to clean up on this retake, already a fantastic start. And, well, it's cleaned up pretty quickly, all in sync there. I made this joke with Scriv yesterday. I said kills in sync for Anonymo and the round in the toilet for Mad Lions.
Pretty much. A bomb plant, at least from a pretty rough situation, isn't the worst thing in the world. But I really didn't love that pistol round for Mad Lions, right? Basically, all right, to summarize what they attempted to do, they had a spread default. They had two players facing for the mid fight. They didn't win the mid fight. So then they had one player poke in towards B, realize no one was on B, withdraw from that play. Meanwhile, a teammate gets caught from the cave push, and then the guy in A main walks out A main and gets killed. I just don't understand. You found the gap towards B. Coming back around onto that rotate would be successful. Obviously, you want to clear the cave position, but you can still get a plant there without the cave cleared.
Oh.
I just don't understand what the intention was. JL will almost burn alive here, dipping his toes a little too far in towards a Molotov, and this time B has a little bit more in terms of reinforcements. Kylar playing from the Cubby Demo, making that cave, hole, pillar, whatever you want to call it, swing, work for him, and at least they'll be able to move the rifle over towards a player who actually has some health to fight with.
Yeah, it's a chaotic style that Mad Lions have. It worked incredibly well for them on Mirage, but I think what happened in that previous round was those individual plays were finally punished. I think they might be forced to maybe calm things down a small bit, perhaps, here on Ancient, in comparison to what we've seen on Mirage, where they could hold W pretty much whenever they wanted, it seemed. Yeah, as we mentioned, that early damage from the molly onto JL. Since then, not really much has been done. Tiny bit of tagging done by Mad Lions, but Anonymo are not really looking to take these fights all that aggressively. Just peeking in for info, confirming the positions, and waiting for the actual bomb sites to be hit. And, well, a bit of an attempt of a fake there, I suppose, from Barub. Blackter's in a bit of an awkward spot, actually caught in around Donut. He's making it work for two. Not quite the hat-trick for himself, but it doesn't matter, because Warrow's now left alone, and they don't really need to force this fight. There's not a ton of time for him to work with.
No. And as they talk, this is going to be a really tough position to get out of. Kylar first face will just take him down. An upgrade's available for snacks as well. Hand-delivered AK-47. And Anonymo move up to the 2-0. It's extremely early days, but look, the T-side on Ancient is hard. The T-side on Ancient is very hard to make work. I'm not overly impressed. Obviously, neither are Anonymo. We've only had 2 kills come in, but an investment will come into this one. They've got utility around it. They've actually put quite a bit in the bank. in order to facilitate a bomb plant potentially. And it seems like this might be a more straightforward play. Sprinting through the Molotov to try and wrap in towards Cave. Here's going to be the initial engagement. Backing off though, Dembo is able to take one, and he's got support for the second as well. So well received from Anonymo. They're going to lock down this B site, and that's just perfect. That's clean. Kylar knocks him down one after another. No problems here. Anonymo read the fast play and shut it down for Mad Lions.
That was really crisp from Kylar. Didn't look like his crosshair moved at all. Just kept it right in place and they kept on coming. To be expected, though, there wasn't an investment there from Mad Lions. It's only now that they come out onto the guns and, well, no real weaknesses. They've got the nades behind those rifles. An up would be nice, of course, but they won't be able to achieve that quite yet. They need to get going with a little bit. And there's none out for Anonymo either. They're happy on their own rifles. Actually taking this as a bonus round on pretty much everyone, apart from Innocent, who doesn't have the greatest of economies. Yeah, out into the default, no aggressive mollies this time. Instead, just the smoke down to stop that push from coming in quickly towards the cave. And of course, it's the rifles, and I don't want to waste that molly quite yet, I suppose. When you're up against the pistols, you expect the pace to be a little bit higher usually. That's why we had seen that before, but at the moment, it's really just, again, this slow default. Move for control. Most of the focus in towards middle, but they do have a man aggressive up on A main. They have one outside of B as well. So really, all of the options are open at the moment. It's just about where they actually want to head towards, because it doesn't really seem like Anonymo are going to give them too many opportunities for the picks, which is clearly their main goal now. They're hoping to get a kill and then make the decision based off of that. And well, maybe now as they start moving towards Donut.
There's a gap in the smoke, though. Something that's haunted Mad Lions that we even saw being an issue on Mirage.
Ouch.
Now there's another. They want to make this play into the red room, in towards mid, but they're just going to sit and wait for the smoke to fade. A flash through. JL is left towards the bottom of mid to throw it. They found some inroads on towards A, but they don't have the bodies. Do they even have the smokes to cover this off? They've got one. And Saucel isn't dropping that. Instead, he's trying to find the fight. One kill found, a second as well. Saucel might just make something of this round. Gives an opportunity to his teammate at the very least, and Woro has enough time to rotate. Can leave. But he will stick around. He'll come back into it, and this is such an exposed play that as they retake the space into Catacombs, I just don't know that a plant's going to be available to him. 15 seconds, spam might get him, and they're just going to walk through. But somehow he's been allowed to live. He's managed to just slip the lead just a touch, but Kylar will put him down. Nearly a team ace there for Anonymous. Snacks doesn't get to have the fun, but a defuse will be on. Look, that round, without Saucel's heroics, would have been nowhere close to being possible.
Yeah, no, that was nuts. A couple of the players were tagged up, but still had to hit the shots and was being shot at by multiple players on the Anonymo side as well. So kind of surprising he was able to get away with as much as he did. Unfortunate, though, that Waro didn't choose to run it over towards B, because he likely would have made it with a bit more space for the bomb plant than he was given there on A. Obviously, in the moment, it's a hard decision to make, and he doesn't have the same info we do.
Certainly. But so let's talk about that setup in towards mid, right? That led it all to ruin. First of all, there's a gap in the donut smoke. Can't do that. If you don't do that, it's a very different round. Second of all, the guy who's up by the red room, I like the idea of taking that space, but if as the smoke fades, the guy bottom has a flash for him to go through on the peak, maybe that's a little more successful. There's a lot of little things that could be buttoned up here for the Mad Lions that would make just a world of difference even in these early takes. Still, we've seen an exchange here, and a one-for-one exchange is better than they've had so far on this map. So maybe something doing for Mad Lions as they try and work their default. The utility usage isn't there yet for this Mad Lions roster. It just really isn't.
Yeah, a little bit, as you said, iffy on the smokes. We've seen it on Mirage as well. I'm also kind of wondering why they peeked that second player, or the first player in towards mid, and lost their initial advantage right there when they had been smoked off on the other side, so they weren't actually ready to help him out. Either way, they've still got a 4-on-4 to move, as you said, being probably the best position they've been in so far. And well, with Baruch picking up the opening on Black tier, it definitely is. Bomb plant should be able to go down, although Baruch for now going to be faking it out, hoping to pull Innocent out of the back of Temple here, and well, they have at least confirmed his position off the back of it. Now getting the bomb down, I was going to say, could be a bit of an issue. They have players rotating through, and there you go. Innocent equalizes us into the 3-on-3. The op is ready as well for the push that comes through. And this is crumbling for Mad Lions. Suddenly, Saucel's all on his own. He got a nice 3k in the previous round around this position, but now he's got to do it all on his own. It'll have to be the clutch.
Huge. Oh, a peek into the op and a dual one. Dance around the box. Might be able to isolate another fight, but no tries to go for the defuse, for the plant. at the wrong moment, without any cover, without any smokes, without anything to guise his approach. So Anonymo, I mean, yeah, maybe that round got a bit more expensive than they would have expected, but the economy is booming right now. They could deal with that. They can rebuy in. They can buy the double op. They can do whatever they want, to be quite frank. They've run 5 rounds against the Mad Lions in a row here. And the Mad Lions, I mean, look, that 8 take's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be a challenge, especially if you can't get the bomb down quickly. It really does make it a bit of a nightmare, but I've seen it happen a couple times here. Might be some aggression out of the Jaguar position. A crossfire at the very least set up here with Demo and Kylar. And this is a very strong spot to play. There are flashes to potentially go in for a clear, but without a Molotov to secure one of the sides, this is tricky. He'll be able to dodge the flash as well, so that's just a shutdown. JL nothing doing. TMB an answer as Kylar maybe gets a bit too aggressive. Now Demo has to be careful. The Molly, though, is excellently thrown, and that'll secure him some space. A smoke to follow it up means he can back away, and the position is not yet lost. Straight to mid. They want to do this, but Innocent is just waiting on the other side to collect.
It got a little bit shaky for a moment there, but it seems like Anonymo now are kind of just snatching up the kills as you'd expect. Gotta say, might have to nick some of your call-outs. I like Jaguar.
Jaguar. So much more fun than Lamp, right?
It is, yeah. I'm gonna nick that one. Everyone will be like, well, why are you using NA call-outs? I'll be like, it just sounds good.
That's honestly not even an NA call-out. It's a me call-out.
No, it's
just a much more fun word for Lamp Room. Like,
I get that. A Jaguar in there?
Yeah. Yeah, the mural is a Jaguar.
Oh. Hang on, I didn't think TMB had much of a chance past the bomb plant here, but he's actually got himself into a 2-on-1, but no, he doesn't expect Innocent. No. That's unfortunate. If he had his gun out there, Innocent's 10 health, suddenly he has a 1-on-1 that's pretty winnable, especially since Blacktier was, I believe, rocking the up. I'm not sure if he picked it up maybe at the last second. I wasn't initially looking, to be honest. But 6-0. Yeah, Jaguar then. If there's a Jaguar in there, I have full right to call it by that. I was thinking maybe he just went mad and chose a random word for a second. But we're good then. 6-0 though. This is a completely different Anonymo so far. A surprising one as well, as Mad Lions just really aren't getting much done. You've got JL completely missing so far, and he looked really good on the previous map.
It's one of those situations where I think some of the issues that we saw in their Mirage are being exposed more here on Ancient. But it's confusing because they've been so successful on Ancient that you just have to wonder how. Because this T side has not really given us much to work with, much to be excited for to this point. This round, at least there's no presence in towards Jaguar early. There's just going to be Demo holding a little bit more passive in the cave. And JL's going to be able to take that space for free. So now that they've got this ground, now that they've got this real estate, maybe a little bit more can be made of a B take. Does Mad Lions want to work that? Or are they going to continue to try and work this mid? Mid's the answer. No gap in the smoke this time, I don't believe. So, okay. Blacktier's looking for it, though. He's like, come on, there's always been a gap. Give me the gap. And instead now, they've got a player in the red room. They've got control of cave. This is a really prime situation for a B-take. So Aggression's going to come through to try and give them something to work with on the Anonymo side, and that's the bomb. That's the bomb dropped. So now Mad Lions have to contend with this aggressive push. Even if they take the site, they're going to need to go back to get that C4, and a well-timed smoke to ward off the cave is really beautifully used there by Anonymo. Look at the reinforcements. They've got everybody here now. What a good read from Anonymo. Now the hit comes in. Maybe 30 seconds left. They're going to have to go for it. That smoke fades. Here's the execute.
So many nades.
Are they even going to be able to get on the site with these mollies coming through?
I don't know. There's still 2 mollies, loads of flashes, as you said, nades, smoke as well that could still come through. This is just not looking good for Mad Lions. I think they've outplayed themselves a little bit with the time, only now getting in towards the site, and the smokes are just about to fade, which will give vision to all of these waiting CTs. A bomb plant at least going to be found, so the extra money put in towards the bank there of Mad Lions, which will keep the buys going, but they need to start winning some rounds. And in this one, they're not even successful with a single frag. Anonymo look absolutely fantastic at the moment. And I think, yeah, I think it is partly, as you said, a lot of those mistakes that were happening coming down to some of the fundamentals back on Mirage being kind of just exemplified here even on Ancient, because it is a map that they wouldn't have the same experience on. They can't kind of, I guess, rely on your gut feeling quite as much. But it's surprising, as you said, just because this map has been so fantastic for them. But maybe they haven't played it against teams who put in as much work as Anonymo do, or perhaps even as much work as Mad Lions do themselves.
Well, I'm also wondering how much has changed here for Anonymo, because they look like a phenomenal Ancient CT set right now. Innocent, it must be said, credit to him, 10-1 to this point. That's bonkers. Only died the one time, 10 kills and show for it. Just a rapid rip-roaring pace on towards B. Maybe this is an antidote. They can't anticipate their rotates. If you just go out, don't leave them time to figure things out. Don't leave them time to suss it. But the problem is they don't have the cave position, and Kylar continues to punish them just with sprays through the smoke. It's so dangerous to be in control of cave. The spam can just hurt you to such a degree, and these bodies have wilted away. They haven't got an answer either. They're pushed out towards B main. They're pushed back. And eventually, that defuse will come through. It is planted in the face of Borup. He's going to need to be incredible here. Has the first. No more. All onto JL. JL forced back. JL dropped an 8th round in a row for Anonymo. Accelerating the pace here for Mad Lions. It worked well to get them onto the site, to get them going a little bit. But without that cave control, without any forward positioning in towards CT, the post plant falls apart. Tack called. Good time to call attack.
Very loud.
Good time to call attack here, Dean, because they are getting whomped.
Yeah, I'm positive they got a kill in that round at least.
Yeah,
I couldn't comment on it though because my dog was really excited by that one kill, so she was just barking her head off.
She's a big CS fan, you know. She's a big fan of this Mad Lions roster.
She saw a big owl lion. She was like, "That's just a cat." Started barking. She got mad.
Take him.
I mean, at this rate, she'd probably be able to.
Yeah, they're looking a little meek. These Lions, it's not so good.
Especially in comparison to Mirage.
It's bizarre.
They all looked on point individually, even if there was some of the crazier plays, but the chaos was kind of playing in their favor. Definitely not the case here on Ancient, because Anonymo just looks so well drilled.
I also think that you haven't had the same explosive plays that maybe papered over some mistakes on Mirage. I mean, obviously, you look at the kill output. JL's not even on the board yet, but you're looking at Waro, who was doing a great job of opening things up on Mirage. 2 kills, it's just not going to work in the same way, right? They need the team play to work on a map like Ancient. You can't just rely on an individual, as we've seen. And Demo, even lined up, is still going to get the one and done. Kylar able to trade, but this is the most successful round we've seen from Mad Lions to this point. The bomb should be able to be planted as Innocent tries to retake the angle. This could be it. The pause may have just been the antidote. They figured out how to actually hold on this, but the nades and the up shot bring back the numbers, and now Anonymo can feel good about going into this retake. They're going to come around. It's going to be left to Waro. He's eating a flash. He needs to have one on this angle. Will do so. So down Black Tier as well. A flank's coming through. He's just going to buy time, and he buys just enough for TMB to finish it off. Good round for Mad Lions. There we go. There's the adjustment off of the pause. They finally get rolling here. They finally get going here. And it's, again, a pretty straightforward take on towards B, just not leaving a lot of time for them to get messy in the post. But they take that angle. They take that fight further in towards CT. They have the rotator coming around, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I think they had tried that before. We'd seen them kind of moving a player up through into Sniper and Nets while trying to get on towards B. It was just the timing that had been slightly off, and that's kind of been the story throughout the series so far. Although they were able to make it work by just hitting the shots on Mirage to make up for some of that. Again, though, it's with it being such a new roster, you can expect a lot of these issues. It takes time to iron out some of these things while playing with some new players. Oh, that aggression, though, down the ramp. TMB drops the flash in, which I guess might force Kylar to fall back away. But if he continues to address, then there is a potential kill to come true. And well, in the meantime, it's the A commitment. Blackter not able to land. Kylar at least finds someone elsewhere to slightly salvage it. And I was going to say may allow for them to at least play for the retake. But as Innocent falls, I think Anonymo might want to consider this save. They do not have all that much money. And the money they do have, rather, is on the players who are dead. So they'll at least be able to buy for themselves as long as their teammates save over.
What a world of difference that timeout makes. Gotta give credits to Cuban, who I believe is coaching this lineup.
Yeah, it was a mad pause for the Mad Lions, as you'd expect.
Yeah, whatever they were talking about, clearly could talk.
You get 4 pause, don't you?
4 pause?
I'd say pauses, yeah, because then the joke doesn't work. So I have to just take the bad grammar here.
I think you're telling me a tale here, Dean.
Chilling back in spawn, though. That's the goal for all of the buys, and well, they save it over. And
if they are Lions, do you think they just always like main takes?
Main takes. I like that one. I like that. We haven't seen too much around A. The one that we have got there, the quicker A play, did of course find some success. So maybe you're onto something, Mike.
I I do think a lot of it is just about if they're a team that's relatively new, maybe they don't have that natural chemistry set right now. What you do is you simplify some things. Maybe you don't want to try and work late round timings where two players are operating from different positions and trying to find themselves at the same place at the same time. Instead, you go for a bit more of a straightforward hit where everybody knows what their role is supposed to be in the post plant, so you immediately sink into that if the hit's successful. The problem comes when you hit the stumbling blocks, when you maybe lose somebody who had a primary, an important assignment. You're going to have to adjust to it. But I think simplifying for this Mad Lions roster, they've got oodles of individual talent. They can hit the shots. They can bully Anonymo when it comes just to a gunfight. So you strip away some of the responsibilities, you accelerate the pace a little bit, and that gives them a chance to just shine. This round, they're going to hold for a bit of aggression, it seems, expecting some sort of a response from Anonymo. It's not a bad read. A lot of early utility, but Anonymo, at least for the moment, not going to get too wild with it. Instead, it's going to be left to Snacks, posted up with AWP to deal with all of these players who are going to try and barrel on down from A main. They have utility for this clear, or are they going to go try? Try it is! Almost 2 on that shot. Molly comes out. They have closed the distance still. That might be enough, and a huge kill. A second to follow it. Nearly a team nade kill, but it's okay. They just have to deal with this player in Donut. If they can kill Black Tier, this should be their round. Black Tier, though, catches the player just sticking out of the smoke, and now it's anything but good damage done. Can't deny the plant. Can soften them up for this retake. A 3-on-3, so tough to hold on to this ace site, but the positioning Catacomb could help to secure it. JL going to need to hold around this corner. A flashbang to clear him. JL, does he hold strong? Waro comes in to support. They're both dropped. Now this is tough. Creeping back through the smoke. Waro 2K will not be able to get any more. And the bomb will be defused. Anonymo back with a nice.
Yeah, back with the help of Snacks as well, doing a ton of damage on that initial peak. Obviously only got himself to 1 kill, but done a decent job, and then a good recovery in the end on the retake. Things just got kind of slowed down and separated for Mad Lions. They weren't able to actually get on towards that bomb site quick enough and safely enough. By the time they were getting the bomb down, obviously it was just smokes that they relied on to give cover, and they ended up just being chipped away at. Didn't have the health to work with. But another thing for this Mad Lions lineup, obviously, is they're a bit of a mixture of nationalities, and that might be something that, while I don't think it holds the team back in the long run, like maybe people said years and years back, that's been proven wrong now. For the first couple of weeks, maybe there's a bit of adjustment definitely to be had. But look at Waro. He's going mad up the ramp right now over on B. I think kind of realizes he was getting a bit too crazy there out in the open, and instead is just going to hold off and hope someone decides to peek in towards him. Well, we'll see whether that eventually comes to fruition or not. Elsewhere, they could be also looking to move back towards the mid control, I do believe. 2 players pushing in from the A side of things there, so mid control for Mad Lions at least should be found. There's no one really here to contest for Anonymo. They've actually just called for the straight up B stack already with 3 players.
Shot hit for Waro. And immediately traded. Immediate trade. Now you've got positioning in towards Cave. They are making inroads. They're being given that for free, but Snacks is posted up on the angle. As they come around that off in a big way, and that mid kill's huge. Salsal now is going to put so much pressure on the rotations. They know he can come around at some point. That's going to have to ring alarm bells in Snacks' head. He's going to have to go back to check that CT angle, and unfortunately they come out of Cave beforehand, and Demos decided to take matters into his own. The bomb found. That could be the round. 2v3 with Salsal having to clear this back around. JL, yes, he's got ground on the site, but who cares? Who cares if you can't plant? He's got past the CT. Who realizes first? Neither one knows. They've just passed each other like ships in a fog. And now finally Snacks will put together where this last player has to be. 0 in the kill and secure double digits here for Anonymo.
Yeah, great work by Demo. As you said, just decided to take matters into his own hands when things begun to spiral out of control, and basically confirmed it when he got that kill onto the bomb carrier.
I love that response too, because it's a response to losing the mid control, right? You're like, okay, well they can rotate through mid, but how do we then give ourselves a bulkhead to fight on? Well, if we secure B main, we can fight backwards, right? So it's a very nice response coming through from an Anonymo to make that call of we've lost mid control, we've lost control to rotate, secure something else for us to fight off of.
Yeah, I think this is actually only about my fifth or sixth game I've covered so far of Ancient actually being able to cast it, but I do really like the map, especially how
I love
you're
it.
actually given some room on the CT side to be able to aggress in
Mhm.
different positions, as you said, to reclaim control. In some aspects, similar to Mirage, the way you can react to the mid control being lost, unlike some maps that I absolutely despise, such as Dust 2. So,
Yeah, I really love the way Ancient is playing, and I love the decisions that it forces teams to make. The T side's brutal right now. I think adjustments to the A side could make it a little bit more of a split there, and I hope that they do come through just in terms of giving a bit more cover to get the actual bomb planted without just dying from donut. But I think that the really cool decision it really forces you to do as a T side is you have to establish further map control than just taking the site, right? If you take A, you need to either hold catacombs or you need to hold donut. And if you don't have one, you're dead. If you hold both, you're great. If you don't have one, it's not going to work. And on B, you need to either be able to control cave or you need to be forward in towards spawn, I'd say. So it really does force some interesting decisions. This bomb should be planted, but the question is, they don't have that control. They can get cave, but they don't have the weaponry here. So this is going to be tricky. And of course, the full brunt of Anonymo is going to come back in. They've got utility aplenty to sail into the site to make life a living hell for the Mad Lions players. Innocent as well with his window peak. Going to be able to collect the first. One of the rifles out of play already. Looking for him with the deagle, but he's even going to find a second before dropping information on Saucel. Now they can smoke him off. Now they can pressure on in. Utility can sail around it. It's just going to be up to the guns, and he's going to start to come to tap. Someone's got to come through the smoke. Someone's got to get the lineup. They don't have it. Bora alone and dropped by Demo through the smoke. Beautifully done on the retake again for Anonymo, and they are just bullying Mad Lions. On a reminder, their map pick. Mad Lions map pick
yeah,
was
I
Ancient.
mean, to be fair, it happened vice versa back on Anonymous map pick. They got
True,
bullied by Mad
true.
Lions as well, so I think they were fired up. They got angered by it, and well, definitely want to take us on towards a map number 3, which would be a pretty exciting time because it's Inferno. Stats wise, definitely looks to favor Mad Lions, but I mean, it's Inferno. Anonymous will definitely be able to give us a show in there, hopefully. Although the recent results having a look right now really give me a lot of hope. Not gonna lie. But obviously, with how things are going here on Ancient as well, momentum may be carrying in their favor. Let's see, Blackter to find contact up close on A main, trying to actually bait them back into the second upper here in the back of the platform. So this could catch us all off guard. Although, of course, not peeking in immediately means that upper really could have repositioned to anywhere. So they should still be expecting an up watch in main. So I don't think they're going to give anything up for free. Nice attempt, I've got to say, by Anonymo. It just doesn't really work out. I like the idea.
Mm. Demo is just going to play with the nades here. I'm so impressed by Demo. I'm so impressed by this player. He's been really
Full
savvy.
AAA experience, yeah.
Yeah, obviously we saw that insane clutch on Mirage, and that's just individual prowess. But it's not that's been the most impressive to me. Obviously, the individual ability is there, but that's true of so many players. We're seeing savviness with utility. We're seeing savviness about when he gives and takes map control. We're seeing savviness in terms of when he reacts and responds. A nice flash in there with Kyler. That's just a really nice setup coming from Anonymo. I am loving this Ancient CT side. Gives me life, man.
Yeah, no, it is clearly a thing of class, considering how much Mad Lions are struggling to break through it at all. I don't know what their own CT side is going to be like, but well, the bar has been set incredibly high, and well, they'll have to raise it even further. Of course, if they're going to want to make a comeback happen. Sassal, you okay, bro? I think you might have timed out. Is that what's happened?
I think
You
he's
moved for
just
a
crying in the corner.
second.
No, he did time out. That's a bummer.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I seen there was a little bit of movement though on the mouse, so I wasn't sure if he actually did or not. But it was either that or he was inspecting that crack in the wall to see if there was foundation issues.
Maybe he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna try and live as long as possible, so we can get another default like pause in here, just to talk things through, get the last map. No, he just disconnected.
Yeah, loses his AK as well.
Big bummer.
Okay. Bigger bummer though is the scoreline.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I mean, for a team that needs a lot of individual plays, or from what we saw in Mirage, that relies on some of those explosive plays, you look at the score lines of what they're being able to do in a kill output: 1, 3, 4. TMB leading the charge with 8. I'm not sure where Saucel was at, but it's bleak, and they just haven't been given the opportunities. And a huge amount of it has been how good that utility usage has been for Anonymo to just never really give them the raw fights they were hoping for. They clearly don't have the same ability to lurk some angles like we saw in Mirage, players jumping into window, players sneaking around the underpass. We saw them able to just sort of open up individual engagements with aim tools, and they don't have that same ability here on Ancient.
Is he back? Oh, he is. There we go. He wasn't on the UI for me for a moment, so I was a little bit scared right there, not gonna lie. As you can see, it has been refreshed. The custom HUD, it can have a few complications at points, but once it's running, it's usually smooth enough. It's when players start dropping out and all that you have to get those reloads in. TMB, though, he's actually going to catch that mid-aggression. A little bit wild from Innocent. We said in the previous map the confidence from Mad Lions was something that inspired them to make some plays that could be punished, and the same potentially to be said here for Anonymo. But the thing is, they have the ops then in the back lines that are kind of making up somewhat for that. Looking to play for the retake mostly, and they've already equalized the numbers. But by far, this is the cleanest plant we've seen for Mad Lions.
Oh, it's also just going to come through this. Black Tier, he doesn't realize the player's so close, but they've just cleared out the mid lurk. That's huge. Kyler goes down, but now they've got the chance to actually make this retake happen. A lot's going to come down to Saucel's position here coming out of the smoke. They've overlooked him. He's got the backstab. Black Tier goes back to it. The awareness to figure that one out. Oh, beautifully done. I don't know what he saw. I don't know what tempted him back around. It looked like he'd completely gone past him, but it is going to be 13-2 on the half. We will take a break before we come back with the second. And we're back here for what may be a very brief second half. Anonymo looking well put together here on Ancient. Mad Lions, meanwhile, leaving a mad amount to be desired, Dean.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been fantastic from them. The issues they had were just amplified from Mirage. As I said, it's probably down to just experience. Even though they've been playing this map a good bit so far, it's not a map that all the players have been playing for years as they have with the others. So it seems like some of those issues definitely being, I guess, exploited here by Anonymo. We'll see how that continues onto their T side. I don't want to only focus on that. That was an amazing CT side showing from Anonymo, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly a lot of preparation done on their own.
As a big Ancient appreciator here, that was a phenomenal Ancient CT side. It was really good. So I want to see what they're breaking out here on the attack. They're moving into a bit of the stack, but utility's being used well. Saucel is burning, and that's going to be a burn Saucel. But Worrell and Bora, they can at least get something back. Still, the rotation is cut. Black Tier finds the timing coming through the red room. Now they know they have Worrell isolated, and, well, they don't need to worry about him anymore. It's going to be left to TMB. I haven't seen TMB to this point, I don't think. But the element of surprise is about the only thing he has going with him. Because the bomb is down. It's taken away. And there's so many targets to find, and they're tucked. They've got a good read on where he has to be. Great read indeed. They'll swing, triple swing as well. The timing is perfect there for Anonymo. And with this pistol round coming through, the slim road that we might have had to Mad Lions making a comeback of this, well, I think it's just been washed away by a storm.
Yeah, they needed that pistol, and even then, I don't know if I would have been too optimistic that they could make a full comeback happen. At least it would have given them a chance to take back something, get a few rounds, get a feel for their mice again. Before, of course, we move on towards Mirage, where, as I said, statistically at least, it is a pretty strong map for Mad Lions. Not amazing, though, for Anonymo, even though they are willing to play it. So I'm not too sure how that one would shape out, but considering Anonymo are looking to take a 16-2 here, most likely on Ancient, they'll be feeling pretty good to start things off. So if they can carry on early momentum, then Mad Lions will be in trouble. But at the moment, anyway, good damage has been done by these pistols. Unfortunately, the first blood, of course, claimed by Anonymo. We'll see if any of this damage can be capitalized on or not, as Saucel just about manages to stay out of the way of the flames. That was very close. Ooh, they might just come back towards him. Begins to leave at that moment, though. Bit unfortunate.
This gives up so much space towards B. This is huge. I mean, he's getting clear in towards mid. If he could slip back into Jaguar before they get around the corner, there's something to work with here. But as it is, if they realize where he's at, a couple flashes across the angle of smoke, a deep Molotov, they don't have to fight him for this B take. They could also just shoot him. That's also distinctly a possibility, but they're overlooking the position. But can't get the kill. Damage done is not enough here. This bomb's going to be planted, and, well, this almost looks like they're going to save. They are. They are going to save.
Oh,
okay.
I'm in. May as well.
Not much to do.
I don't think they know how much damage they've done, quite, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, even in this instance, I get that it's really low percentage, but you really want to play for 13 rounds in a row? That's what you want to do? With a limited buy to start?
Reasonably, I think they're playing for 13 rounds anyway. I think their option is more, do they want to try it with these Eagles, or do they want to lose these first and then try it with less in the next round? Because I wouldn't really fancy their chances on this retake. I don't think they were either. I mean, it's not like it would have been impossible, just because, as we said, there has been some pretty good damage done, and they do even have a kit onto Worrell. But it's a pretty difficult option to weigh up at that point. And, well, with these weapons, with these Deagles and Kevlar and the nades being saved over, they can maybe even pull out a couple of FAMASs. They could get some rifles that wouldn't have been present otherwise, SMGs even. It'll be at least something for them to try and work with. And as I said, although I don't think they're going to be able to pull this back to a full-on comeback, and I don't think even the players will be too optimistic about that. You won't really be thinking that, of course. But if you can just take it one round at a time and at least manage to get 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or so in a row, somewhat salvage the scoreline just for your own sake, so that you aren't feeling quite as bad heading onto Inferno. Because again, with this being a relatively new lineup, they might not be able to quickly reset the mental quite as much as we'd expect out of some other teams. At the time, still needed to adjust. Well, look at this aggression we're seeing. Confidence definitely doesn't lack. They keep that all the time.
Can I tell you a secret here, Dean?
I'm waiting. I love them.
I don't think they're going to be able to run back the rounds. I just like this Anonymo side on Ancient. Obviously, we haven't seen much of their team, but the understanding they have for the map right now and where utility needs to come in and how to control pressure and presence, it's a pretty big gulf between them, which makes it even more absurd that this is Mad Lions map pick. I think that this Mad Lions roster has maybe gotten a big lesson that, hey, some more work needs to be put in on Ancient for us to comfortably pick into it, because it's clear that they're out prepared here, right? Like that's the difference between these two sides right now is the knowledge and comfort on Ancient. It's just hasn't been there in the same way for Mad Lions. And to be fair, maybe their CT side is amazing, and we're just never really going to get a chance to see it. But not great here. Here's going to be the take around. A Molotov will try and slow them up just a bit. Borup going to drop further utility. The flashbangs are good to allow the rotation to come in, but here's going to come the X. It's going to be 25 seconds, so they do have to commit into this. They're just trying to get done with the guns, and there's the first. That's the donut position dealt with. No one available to quickly rotate back into it as well, so that's been lost, but they've gone past. Oh, Demo, you flicked past
This
him.
went too quick.
Oh, no. What is happening here? Oh, my goodness. This could be something. The health's so bad, though. This bomb will go down with 5 seconds, and it works. It works. They somehow bring this back away. They should have all fallen apart. But now you got Waro on 13. Saucer with a Deagle trying to work up Donut, but he's even being flanked. What do you do here? Snacks is going to have that engagement. They'll buy time. There is a kit for Waro, but he's got to get forward into it. And as soon as he comes around the angle, yeah, he's nailed to the wall. This is over. This is done with. That's going to be the game for Anonymo. A dominant Ancient showing. They looked out prepared. They looked out skilled at every